I wonder who's going to come in this time. You never know. I'll put it on all messages. You know, Thursday comes very quickly, doesn't it? Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At Decola One, thank you for coming in. I missed you last time. Dawn, how you doing? Matthew, what's up? Let's fix this. I'll get a ring light when I get to Missouri. I can't believe I'm relocating again, but I can believe it. I look like a wax figure. How dare you say that to me? Because there's no sunlight here. I heard in Kansas City there's actually sun. You know, there's no sunlight here. It's like it's cloudy all the time in North Carolina. Well, at least here it is. Well, hi, AJ Nunez. How are you doing from Austin, Texas? Welcome in. Let's see. Red Dawn Crawford. I look like a wax figure. That's because my face is so white. I usually have color to my face. I have a red tint to my face. The thing is, I don't get out in the sun that much. You see, the problem is even in the summertime in North Carolina, well, in this part of North Carolina and getting into South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, there's a lot less sunshine than you would think. They call Florida, like down in Florida, they call it the sunshine. What do they call it? The sunshine state. Yeah, but here's the deal. It's actually there's more. I think like certain parts of Texas and like Oklahoma and Kansas have more sunshine days out of the whole year than most parts of Florida. So I don't know why they call it the Sunshine State. I don't live in Florida. I live in North Carolina. You might have heard of North Carolina. It's north of South Carolina. I'm one of those people that just thinks of something and just starts cracking up for no reason. That's good, Matthew. You should make dinner for your lady friend, for your girlfriend. That's wonderful. I'm very, very, very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for all you men that are making dinner for your lady friends, whether they're your wife or your lady friend or your girlfriend. If they're grown-ass women, they're a lady friend. You're not in high school anymore. It's not your girlfriend. It's your lady friend. Anyway, I look like Charlie Sheen. Really? Well, isn't he half Mexican? Because I don't have any Mexican in me. I don't think I look like Charlie Sheen. Where are the places you want to most explore? If you knew where I really wanted to explore, I'd get in trouble. It would be I would explore something in in something nice, like a Marriott hotel or something like that, something really nice after a nice dinner. Thank you. Little Miss Jax, how are you doing? Welcome in. I'm getting better at this live streaming thing, I think. But really, the people that are going to allow me to know whether or not I'm getting better at this live streaming thing are you fine folks. You're going to let me know if I'm good at this or not. This is at Hollywoodland21. That's at Hollywoodland21. This channel, it's my channel. It's not my platform. I use this platform. It's called YouTube. And YouTube works for me for right now. Yes, I will be going over to TikTok, maybe in a few months, maybe in 2 months, who knows? But I'm going to wait until I relocate first. I'm in North Carolina and I'm relocating to Missouri. Almost went to Overland Park, Kansas. I may eventually end up over in Kansas. I don't know. I was actually, to be honest with you, I was actually pushing for Nebraska, actually, the Lincoln area, or even Lawrence, Kansas and stuff. But, you know, people have to make compromises. But the thing is that maybe one at some point in the future. But when I first land, I want to land someplace that is a large city, but not too large of a city. Actually, I found out that St. Louis metropolitan area is larger than the Kansas City area. Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas is like one metro area. It actually has 650,000 less people than Charlotte, North Carolina, where I am. And that's 650,000 less people I have to be around. And I think that's wonderful. I've been around people my whole life. You know my story, don't you? Hi, everybody. I still am a baddie. Wait till I get that tooth implant there and get this haircut properly. And you see me in different kinds of clothes. I'm just like in knockaround. I'm like in whatever clothes. I got stuff in plastic from the dry cleaners and stuff like that. I'm not taking all that out now. I'm just jigging around now. This is a non-monetized channel right now. I will monetize it in the future. I don't know. I don't really need the money, but yeah, sure. I'll take the passive income and stuff. If YouTube will partner with me, you know, when I get to, what did we say? 5,000 subscribers. I might do it at 4,000, but I'm not going to do any of it either way until I'm totally relocated to Missouri, which is a big state. I found. I looked at it on the map, and it's a big place. Let's see who's in here. Mel Gibson, what's up? That's funny. At Trundy76, you need money, laugh out loud. You own houses. I don't talk about what I own and what I don't on YouTube. Sorry about that. I don't get into my finances and things like that. And there's just certain things I just don't talk about too much on social media with God only knows who's watching me. I don't need people knowing what my business is. But put it this way, I don't really worry about money. There's other things. The implants fell out. Implants get old. Implants can get old, and then one has to be like a candidate for implants. Some people are not. I am. But if you have bad gums, so you have like gingivitis or something, and you have bad genes for your gums or something, you really can't have implants. I've known people that are in their 40s that I used to go to those 12-step recovery meetings with that used a lot of rugs out there in California, where I used to live in Los Angeles, which is basically, I lived in the Hollywood area. Hollywood is a neighborhood it's a neighborhood that is in the city of Los Angeles. It's just like about 3 zip codes, 90028 and 90029. And what's the other one? 90046 and 9. What's the other one? I can't remember. The 90046 is over there near Hollywood, West Hollywood, in Fairfax District. I lived out there, and something else out there. I had a good time out there most of the time. I had some ups and downs. Had some lady friends out there. I had a good time with. One of them I did not. They ended up being a psychopath. Were you asking me if she took it out? Decula, thank you. Thank you, Decula. And thank you, Little Miss Jax, for coming in. Dressed up like Batman, right? You think so? The Quidsky, 74. Hey, Randall, hope all is good. Yes. Trendy 76. Chicago. I've been to Chicago 2 times. 2 times. I've been to your little beach there in Lake Michigan, and I've been to the Midway Airport at Cicero when they still used to have Braniff and Midway Airlines. Remember that? I don't even know if that airport's still operating and stuff. It's actually near some slaughterhouses. It smells horrible around there. Poet Sally, 155. Would I date a 19-year-old? Probably not. Probably not. 2 different. I mean, I don't think I would date a 19-year-old if I was even if I was like 35 or something. I don't think it's just. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you anything about dating and when I'm running around Hollywood and I'm hooking up with women and stuff and I'm single, I'm not going to tell you. There's a large age range. It was whatever. Dr. Oz, actually. I mean, it was like, you think I'm kidding about that Motel 6? I'm not kidding about it. It left the light on for me. I used to work in a nightclub. Yeah. He doesn't talk about finances in the RL also. What's a RL? Yeah. Somehow I figured out how to live this long. I don't tell people about what my age. You have a high IQ though? My IQ was tested at when I was in it was tested in the first grade, and they tested me at 129. It's what the child study team said when my mother told me later. I was 129, and they asked my parents if they wanted to skip me up to the 3rd grade from the 1st grade, and then my parents decided that I was already born like in late June, so I was like one of the younger kids in the 1st grade, and they did not think that, like, for social reasons, that would be, like, emotionally, I wasn't like ready to be around 3rd graders and things like that. So they just kept me in the 1st grade and gave me extra work to do. Wonderful. Later on in high school, I had my IQ tested again. It went down to 128. It's way above average, but it's not genius. I have met some geniuses before that worked for my father when he used to own a business. Called Gorka Systems. Gorka, Gorca, Gorka Systems Incorporated. Have I ever played GTA 5? No, but I would like to start playing some occasionally. I would like to get into online video games. I thought it's kind of funny that Grand Theft Auto, like the original one, and I could see that the programmers, they're kind of funny because where you are in Grand Theft Auto is Los Angeles. And I know how they actually did it accurately, like where all the roads are, the certain buildings where they're supposed to be, where in real life the building would look if you were there. But the whole game is like, when some guy getting out of jail and he's like running around causing mayhem and robbing people and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But in a weird way, maybe that would be a fun game for me to play. I was out there in 1989 when they had real gangs out there, like bang, 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 like for real. And it's kind of funny that you got all these people playing GTA and they're playing this simulated game with some dude getting out of prison and he's running around in Los Angeles and doing bad things and being bad in general. And okay. Who's your straight out of Compton? Do you know that Compton's actually safer now? I remember Compton, California, when they discontinued their police department because the police were stealing the drugs and the guns. It was horrible. Now the LA County Sheriff takes care of Compton. They have no more municipal police department there as of the mid 90s. 2 Live Crew. What are you guys, a bunch of Generation X people? 2026 safe state in comparison. I mean, in the bigger cities, compared to the late 80s and in the 90s, there were parts of the city of Los Angeles that were not all of it, but there were a certain section of it that skewed the crime rates up. Like when you get the actual crime rates, the statistics were showing that it was a very, very dangerous city. What's going on right now? It's actually safer, but you're seeing crime in places that you never saw it before, like Encino and Chatsworth and like really nice areas of the city, but still have like crazy crime. All that crazy stuff in California, that's going to end at some point. Oh, you're a millennial. Are you an older millennial? Older millennials. I shouldn't ask a woman her age. I'm sorry about that. My pardon me. But there are some people. Let's see. I'm not a big person on generations. Not really. I'm really not. NWA. Those guys were funny. That was a funny. Eazy-E. He actually ended up being one of the best rappers. And he wasn't a rapper. He was a weed dealer. He didn't want to get into it. He was financing them, but he didn't want to get into it, is how the story goes. Now I just heard that. I'm not sure all the details and stuff like that, but a ZZ Top band member passed away the other day. Wow. 42 is a good age. Yes, it is. It is. Oh, they mess with the statistics in the city of Los Angeles. You never really know. I just moved out of there. I lived in Los Angeles except for 3 years in Seattle, outside of Seattle, in a place called Bellevue. There's a town there's little towns called Bellevue all over the country. But I lived in the city of Bellevue, which is now a medium-sized city, just east of Seattle. In let's see, the tail end of 1995, 96, 97, no, 96, 97, 98, and then in 99, I went back down to Los Angeles. But I lived up there in Washington State. But other than that, between 1989 and 2023, August, was it August? Let me think. Yeah, August in 2023. For that long, I lived in the city of Los Angeles. I'd have to add up the years. I don't know if it's 29 or 31 or what it is. I don't know, 1989 to 2023. Somebody do that for me. You probably could figure that out faster than I can. You were born in 1996. I remember 1996. I know where I was. I was living in Bellevue, Washington. I remember 1996 really well. Washington State was not like what you're seeing on your television set. It was a different place. They didn't have all this crime there. And Seattle was a soft-ass city. Forty-two is not old. That's middle-aged. You're middle-aged until you're 65. When you hit 65, that's like the beginning of being a senior citizen. If you take care of your health, you can. I think the average mortality rate for men in this country has slipped down to 74 and 76 for women. It used to be 76 and 78, respectively. It slipped down. I think a lot of that had to do with the deaths of the COVID-19 debacle, and also people using rugs and some other things, bad things. Yeah, Easy E. He didn't even want to rap, is what the story goes. He didn't really want to rap, but he ended up being a different kind of rapper that he would just talk to like he's not trying to do anything with his voice fancy. He's just basically just like he's reading out of a book and stuff like that. People really liked him. Too bad he passed away under suspicious circumstances. Why do I look like a movie villain? Why? Do I look like the kind of guy that would be a villain? Do I look like the kind of guy that would get in the middle of things and just throw a monkey wrench into your life and fuck everything up? Do I look like that guy? I might look like that guy. I'm not that guy. Bellevue is also a hospital. It's a hospital in the city, in New York City, in Manhattan. Yes. That's a vampire, really? You think so? Well, guess what nose hair is for? Nose for? I'm gonna tell you what it's for. It's to keep allergens from getting in there. You don't want to look at it. You can go if it's triggering. You can leave. Goodbye. What's the top 3 things I missed from the 90s? Normal people, flip phones, the Nokia phone with the little snake game in it, the little 2G one, America Online. Let's see what else. People doing things that wasn't on the phone all the time. People just talking to each other. It was short-lived, but I did have a relationship with this girl. It was actually ended up being a love triangle. It was really fucked up, man. This girl looked like Sophia Loren, the actress, if you know who she is. I mean, we're talking top notch. And she was in the middle of it was in Washington State. She was in the middle of a separation, and then she couldn't make her mind up. And then she eventually let me go and broke my heart and stuff like that. I remember her, but I remember when I was with her, I was like in heaven. I remember her. She was a really sweet lady, but she did the right thing and she went back to her husband. But that's not always the case. See, it had something to do with, I remember the situation. Her and her husband were always getting in. They had some problems. They were getting messed up. And there was all kinds of issues going by, but she said she's staying with because of the children and I respected that and stuff like that. Yeah. I never did call her again. That was way back in 1998, something like that. Her name was Christina. I met her in a little town called Sedro-Woolley, Washington. And I really ran after her, man. But she had kids and everything like that. I wonder how old she'd be. She's actually a really, really nice person. I remember that. But I was younger, and you know, the young guys make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes guys my age make mistakes. You want to leave California? Yes, see, Luna. Where do you live in California? I've been all over, well, most places. I've even been to Susanville. I've been. 55 is a senior citizen, not 65. No, it's not, Nathan Price. 55 is not a senior citizen. I don't know who told you that. Senior citizen is 65 years old and older. There's different stages of life and stuff like that. When you get to be 45 years old now, physicians are telling people that they should get a colonoscopy because Americans eat so bad they could have colon cancer. And they want to see if there's polyps in your ass. Okay. Did you know that at 45? But that doesn't mean that you're old. 55 is maybe old in the southern states. I mean, I did notice that down here in the South, there's poor health care. And I've seen some people that are like in their late 50s that look like they're just like tore up, man. I'm like, God dang, man. Did you ever go to the doctor or anything? Get a... Or people that drink a lot of alcohol or smoke a lot of weed or do hard drugs, it can make you look like you're really old by the time you're 50 or something, like 45 or 50. I've seen women, especially women that are like by their late 40s. They might look okay in their early 40s, but once they hit 45, if they're still using that stuff, even if they stop using it, their bodies just start looking old because they did amphetamines. That's the worst drug. My God. I think 1996, 1997 babies, you mean people born on those years, were the last actually to live normal childhoods. I notice a difference in the change in the culture in the United States. It happened somewhere, it had its beginnings in after maybe about 50% of the people in the United States actually owned a smartphone. That year was 2013 or 14. Somewhere around 2015 is when I started noticing a difference in the culture. But I really noticed it, but it really changed after 2020. After that coronavirus debacle that we all went through, depending on what state you lived in. I mean, some states did not really lock down a lot of things, but if you lived in one of the more populated states up north or something, you may have been locked in. You might have been like, there's nowhere to go, no one's going to work, and, you know, nothing's on the shelves of the grocery store. That was a bad time. I don't like to think about it, but I'm not going to talk about it too much, but things changed after that. I know a lot of people are not going out of their house. They're staying home. They're not really socializing. A lot of people don't drink alcohol anymore. So the bars are drying up. People don't go to bars, and things are different. I played outside when I was a little kid. Remember when the first pagers came out? I wonder when that was. That the 70s? That was in the 70s, right? That was before. That's before I was an adult. I've always used Motorola. I've used Motorola. Like, I'm a Motorola person. Yeah. The military uses Motorola. They're really good cell phones. Why do I look so familiar? Do you know me from the San Fernando Valley, which is northern Los Angeles? Or do you know me from Hollywood? Or do you know me from Philadelphia or Cherry Hill, New Jersey? Or do you know me from Seattle or Bellevue, Washington? Those are the places I lived the longest. I grew up in Philadelphia and southern New Jersey. No, I'm not an actor. I know I lived out in Hollywood. I call myself Hollywoodland because at Hollywoodland22, I told people before, a lot of people in the chat know that I did live up in the Hollywood Hills when I was 19 in a guest house behind a mansion, way up near the Hollywood sign. But then I moved out of there because it's just too much to be going up and down. It's like, it's way back there. It's a long drive. If your car breaks down, it's a long walk, and you don't want to live all the way up there unless you have a car that has a really good transmission. Nextel phones, I remember them. Singular. Well, it looks like Nathan Price doesn't have very much positive to say around here. So goodbye, and you go waste somebody else's time. Yes, I do. I'm not mad or anything. I just don't tell people my age. I just tell people that I am over the age of 45. And my hair, this lady did not layer my hair. She cut my hair a half inch everywhere, but she did not layer it properly. And I don't know. It was in a hair salon. So now I'm going to go to a cheap place like Great Clips, where I'm going to probably find the best hairdresser in the world, and they'll cut my hair and layer it and stuff like that. You have a broadcast quality voice, sir. Thank you very much. In fact, I'm probably going to do that's something I'm looking forward to. I will be looking to do some type of work like that in the Kansas City, Missouri area. I might even go over to Kansas if I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a part-time job at a radio station. Maybe I'll do maybe I will submit an audition for to do voiceovers for television commercials or radio commercials, and submit that to people in California, even from Kansas City. You can do that. You can do that. I don't know if people know that, but you can. It looks like the guy was on television. I had an opportunity to do it. I could, if I wanted to. If I wanted to go back to California and live in Burbank or Studio City, and I wanted to go to open auditions for any role and stuff like that, I could do that. I feel confident that they would put me somewhere. I know how to follow directives. I know how to follow directives, stand here, stand there. If I wanted to do that, I could. But I decided when I first went out to California, I really didn't understand where I was. It's a big city, and I saw a lot of factories and stuff like that. And I saw Hollywood Boulevard and everything, but I did not understand at 19 years old. Maybe I was a little bit slow. For a guy with an IQ of 128, I was a little bit slow. I didn't understand that the San Fernando Valley and Burbank and that area around there is where television shows go from. They might be financed from somewhere else, but they're manufactured out there. Thinking about it, writing down ideas, a script, putting it together, everybody brainstorming, hiring actors, and videotaping it. And television shows are manufactured. That's the word I use, manufactured in that area. In Hollywood, Culver City, Studio City, it's all in LA County, and in Glendale also, and Burbank. And that's where they manufacture a very large percentage of the television programs that people in the United States, probably around the world, watch. I know that they also do a lot of television production in other places too. And filming and stuff. Albuquerque, I guess to a certain extent, and Vancouver, British Columbia. Where else? I had some guys telling me about this that work in the business. I meet all these guys at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings in LA over the last like 29 or 30 years. They said there's that down in Orlando, they do some stuff, Atlanta and Albuquerque. They even have studios in Tucson. They film a little bit everywhere. I don't know if Paramount is going to leave LA and go to like Texas somewhere. Did you guys hear about that? One thing I do know, I don't know where they would go, but I do know that Austin, Texas actually has a microclimate of Mediterranean weather. Their weather is very similar in temperature and precipitation and things like that. Similar, not the same. But Austin is, well, like the Texas Hill Country in between San Antonio and Austin is kind of sort of like the climate of Fresno, California, with maybe a little bit more rainy days in Austin. But that would be an excellent place to do a lot of outside filming for motion pictures. Yes, I mean, I don't work in that business, but I'm saying that I'm just using my brain. That would be a good place to film. Would be around Austin or the suburbs in between Austin and San Antonio. Yeah, the weather's really nice there. It's just that it gets really hot. Like Fresno, California gets really hot. It's not like Los Angeles. Los Angeles is more like Palermo, Sicily. It's like, you know, Sicily. That's what Los Angeles is like. Or like the eastern coast of Spain. It's Mediterranean. It's truly Mediterranean. It's my opinion, Los Angeles has the best climate in the world. It's better than the Mediterranean. It's more Mediterranean climate than even the Mediterranean. Put it that way. You have one of those faces where people say, isn't that Kurt Russell? No, it's not Kurt Russell. I've never met Kurt Russell. I've watched his movies. I think he's an excellent actor. I've really enjoyed his movies a lot. There's no relation whatsoever. And I've never worked in the entertainment business. And so I was a salesman. You know, I did other things for a living. If somebody wanted to pay me, just for fun or something like that, to be in a motion picture or something like that, I'd do it. Why not? Just for fun, not even for the money. You know, I think it would be fun to put on my resume. Texas Hill Country Resort and Spa, Joseph. That's really nice around Austin, isn't it? Thank you. I sold aluminum siding, vinyl siding, and tools for a long time. I worked in retail management. I sold shoes, men's clothing, women's handbags, and shoes, high-end women's handbags and shoes for when I was a real young guy. I worked as a waiter and a bartender for a little bit. It's mostly in sales, though. I've sold tools also. I've done cold calls, commission with a draw, things like that. You know, I worked in the nightclub business for a little while for some nefarious characters that you probably don't want to know. Hello from Southern California. I miss Southern California. I really do. It's just, you know, I lived there for a long time. I had to go. If you're in Southern California, you know what happened to the San Fernando Valley. You know what happened to Los Angeles. It started having problems around 2016, 17, 18. It got worse. And just a bunch of just ridiculous stuff going on there. All this defund the police and all this crap. And it's sad. A lot of people died. Then the coronavirus hit. It got worse. I just thought it was time for me to split. I picked North Carolina to live in. It's okay here, but it's really not my cup of tea. That's why I'm relocating to the Midwest. The Midwest is, in some aspects, more in the cities, in the bigger cities in the Midwest, is more similar to Philadelphia. Yeah, it's not quite the same, but St. Louis is kind of like a mini Philadelphia. I'm going to Kansas City. Um, I just need to live someplace where it's I can get more for my money and enjoy my life, a little bit slower pace of life. I did the Southern California thing. I think in my lifetime, I just don't know if, my adopted hometown for most of my adult life, which is the city of Los Angeles, is ever going to get it fixed or ever going to get it together. It's too much problems out there right now. The kind of places that turn me on are places that I'm finding out, like Kansas City is clean, runs efficient, things like that. Des Moines is like that. Omaha's like that. Lincoln's like that. Even places like in South Dakota are like that. They got their areas and stuff, but it's not like what's going on in Los Angeles. You've seen it on the television. You see what's going on. They have just a bunch of problems there. It'll take like 20 years to fix it. And I don't want to be in the middle of it. No, I'm not George Clooney's brother either. I don't think I look like George Clooney at all. I think I look like Randall. Aaron Roderick, hi, how are you doing? Welcome back in. You look like an actor in a Vegas movie in 1970. They had a really good 1974 original version of Gone in 60 Seconds. Did you watch that one? The 1974 version. It's an old movie. It's the first one they made of Gone in 60 Seconds. That is an excellent car chase movie. I love it. You hear there's a lot of talent scouts in Kansas City. I'm not really I'm not a person that's, you got to understand, I literally lived in Hollywood. Then I moved out of Hollywood and I lived right around that business. And I made friends with people via 12-step recovery, like AA meetings, Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and Cocaine Anonymous meetings. And I made buddies with people over several years that worked. Some were actors, a few were well-known, and people I met there that helped me with my addiction issues and stuff. And I got to meet a lot of those people. But I did not work in their industry. There's other things going on there too. A lot of furniture is made in Los Angeles. What else? Furniture, toys. What's finance there? International finance. There's refineries. There's a big port. It's a double port. It's very, very busy port. I think it's the busiest port in the United States. It may be. So they make soap there. They make processed food there. They make furniture there. They make toys there. They make all kinds of clothing is manufactured in Los Angeles, and also in the towns that are east of Los Angeles, like La Puente, City of Industry, City of Commerce, and other places out there where they have a lot of manufacturing there. I think that LA County, which is the county that LA City is in, that has like 84 other suburbs, probably has the largest output when it comes to of manufactured goods of any county in the United States. There's an enormous amount of manufacturing. At one point they were. I don't know anymore. They're having a lot of there's a lot of problems out there right now. The government's taxing these businesses so much that they just want to leave. They might all go to Texas. I heard a rumor about a second Wall Street being built in Frisco, Texas, which is above Plano, like it's going like towards the Oklahoma border. Yeah, a second Wall Street. I heard of that. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out where our country goes. We have no idea. You never know where our country is going to go. Okay. And I hate not being a troll, but just think you'd look better if you cleaned up your eyebrows at a beauty salon. They can trim, maybe wax it. You will look younger. Really? You think so? You think the eyebrows need to be trimmed and waxed? Really? I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody. I don't particularly want to look any different from the way I look right now. This hair not being layered, I don't like, but oh well. Thank you for coming into at Hollywoodland21. Yes, that's at Hollywoodland21. That's my channel. Hi from London. Hi. You agree? Yeah, me too. If I wake up in the morning, it's a good day. I had a health scare when I was in my early 40s, and Jesus let me live through that. And I'm just glad to be alive. I just live in the now. I live in the right now. This is all that matters. One thing I am glad that I did is when I was a young guy, I took risks. I jumped on a Greyhound bus with $2,000 in the bank in 1989, and I had $100 on my wallet and a Greyhound bus ticket. My friend Donald and I took off when I was 19, and we went across country. We ended up at the downtown Los Angeles bus station. We didn't like that, so we went to the Hollywood bus station. We hung out there, and I ended up living out there. He went back home after about 2 months, but I stayed. What's my sign? I am, oh, you mean my zodiac sign? Well, I had my chart read. Okay, on Ventura Boulevard in the San Fernando Valley, have you ever heard of Studio City? There's a lot of television studios there. They had a lady there, Hungarian lady. I don't know if she was a gypsy or not, but she did my astrological chart years ago by the longitude and latitude lines on the map of where I was born, right? And the time I was born, the exact time, and the date I was born, and the year I was born. I gave her all that information, and she told me, I was born in late June, and she told me, the only thing I can remember is she told me a few things. She told me that my sign, which is called a sun sign, is a Cancer. And she said that my rising sign was Sagittarius. She said that I'm a person that kind of needs to be, that kind of is like a Cancer in many respects, but also I have parts of my personality that are very adventurous and have to be in the spotlight. Like, I said, like, what do you mean like a spotlight? She said, like a rock star. Like, you got to be right in the middle of everything, right in the center of attention. Maybe that's why I ended up being a salesman. I don't know. I'm not sure. I used to be when I was younger. When I was younger, and even not too long ago, I was more of a social butterfly. I used to just I used to drink. I used to go into clubs and stuff like that. And I used to just talk with everybody, and I used to socialize a lot more. I used to be like that. Something after this COVID-19 Chinese disease or whatever it is, when this thing hit, it's just like, I have to admit, I changed a little bit. The world's a different place, and there's all kinds of people in the United States now that they're not cool. And I don't want to be around big cities like that so much. I'm cool with just like meeting people on social media. This is people think, get it wrong. This is not social media. And in most ways, actually, in my opinion, it's only a 2-second delay, and you can't read everything like I can as a salesman. Like when I'm reading somebody who's coming and wants a prospective buyer or something, I get them on the phone or they come into the store or wherever I'm working. I can read people pretty well. It's more difficult to do that on YouTube, but this social media isn't going anywhere. People purchasing things on smartphones is not going anywhere. I probably will start selling products. I might start promoting businesses and stuff, and a lot of my money may end up in the future coming with the use of laptops and these smartphones. I can reach a lot of people. It is real life. I'm a real person. I'm an authentic person. I am not. I'll tell you what I'm not. Like, like sometimes when you meet younger people or people that are maybe middle aged, but they act like they're 16 years old, you meet people that are very insecure, but they have very large, they're very egocentric for whatever reason. Maybe they're really smart, so they're egocentric, or they're particularly handsome or beautiful people, and they have big egos and stuff like that. But deep down inside, they're very insecure people. I'm not one of those people. I'm a person that's authentic. I'm based. I'm real. Uh, I'm a real motherfucker, um, and I have what's called real self confidence. I know exactly who I am. I also know my limitations, just like Clint Eastwood told us about. A man's got to know his limitations. But real self confidence is something that developed in me after I stopped drinking. After I stopped drinking in my late 30s and into my early 40s, I developed something called real self confidence, and it's a maturity thing. Some people, some people, they misuse the word narcissist. That word is used too much. Some people are just jerks, They're just selfish people. Not everybody's a narcissist. A narcissist, I know about narcissists. I eat them up for lunch. I like to expose narcissists and make them look like jackasses in front of everybody else. It's really fun to do because they're so evil. You know what I mean? Narcissists are so evil that it's actually I actually delight in making them look like assholes in front of everybody else. I've done it before many times. You got to realize that I lived in the Hollywood area of Los Angeles, where you have a lot of people that want to be famous and they want to be somebody that's special and everything, and they go out there, but they're not going out there to act right. When I was young, I worked with them. I was a waiter. I was a bartender. All the wannabe actors are all waiters and bartenders in all the nightclubs and restaurants and stuff out there. And you run into these people that want to be actors and stuff, right? But they don't want to act. What they want to do is they go out there and they want to be famous. And then you go out there, you want to act because you want to entertain people. You want to provide a service for somebody. You want to entertain people. It makes you feel good to entertain people. Now, but a lot of people that go out to Hollywood, I noticed because I lived in Hollywood, were very egocentric and they were into themselves. So it's all about them and everything. And me, like this in their 20s, even in their 30s, and even in their 40s, some of them. And they did not go out there to act to make somebody else laugh or feel good inside. They went out there because they wanted a bunch of people to look at them all the time. You know what ends up with a lot of those kind of people? Well, they end up very bitter when they get older, especially, well, women and men. They end up bitter in a Section 8 apartment with a cat for a best friend. Or they go, because they're not going to go home to their town they came from because they're too embarrassed that they didn't make it. There was somebody that was insecure their whole life, probably from childhood. And they went out there to be famous. And some of them were very good looking people. Some of them were like on the looks department, maybe. I know you guys don't like that, but there is a looks. They rate you out there. I mean, guys don't really have to be like really, really handsome to get into movies and stuff. But the women, they have these women out there. They could be a really good looking woman, like an 8 or 9 or something like that. But they're out there for the wrong reasons. Or they get led astray and they get using drugs because there's methamphetamine and crack and all this shit is all over the place in California, and they get diverted away from what they thought they wanted out there, and they end up out on the street, or they ask a social worker to like beg them to buy them a bus ticket to go home to wherever they're from. In Arkansas somewhere. I met a lot of people like that in my travels. They lose the plot. That's what I'm saying. They lose the whole plot. The whole thing is you're supposed to want to entertain people. I know where you're supposed to go. I mean, I don't do it, but I mean, I know that what you're supposed to do if you really want to be a television actor or something like that. I know people that are television actors. I know people that are television actors. I'm not going to drop any names, but I know people that are very well known. And some of them are fine with it. Some of them move out to Ventura County or Orange County. They move to some other state where there are laws where you're not allowed to hang outside of their house and take pictures of them all day long and stuff like that. So if you live in LA City, either LA City or LA County, I'm not sure. I think the paparazzi can do whatever the fuck they want. They can hang right outside your door where you come out in your car and everything and harass you and take pictures of you in your backyard. Can you imagine living like that? I talked to a guy that was an actor on a television show. Now, I did not watch this television show, but he described what it was like. They did a pilot, and then it went well with the test audience and everything like that. And then they had a little TV show for about 3 years, and he kind of not really famous, but his face was recognizable, like that. And then it turned in when the show was over, and he's still an actor. He said, but for a good 4 or 5 years after that, he almost couldn't go anywhere. People were always like stopping him. He ended up like ordering his groceries to his condominium and everything like that and he didn't really like it, and he got out of it, and he does something else for a living right now. But I'm not going to tell you who it is, but you probably would recognize him. But he doesn't do acting anymore. America's a crazy place. There's some kind of a weird thing in our culture that's really become celebrity oriented that I think is very toxic. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I think it's very toxic. Yeah, it can be, but there's some really nice people. Like I used to know all the guys that were in the check cashing places over there on Whitley and Hollywood Boulevard. I got to meet the people that just like live there. You know what I mean? People that there's actually single family homes in Hollywood. It's funny. People that work at their film editing, and people that work and own pizzerias there, and people that sell clothes there on Hollywood Boulevard, and people that own motels, Pakistani dudes that own motels. And I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of them, like the manager of the check cashing place I used to go into all the time. I meet people that went to school around there. I met people my age that had parents that were hippies, that were like artists, all kinds of fine artists, poets, people that worked in motion picture business and stuff from multiple generations. But they lived there, but they didn't do what their parents did. Like they didn't want to work in that business, and they wanted to do something else for a living, and they opened up a restaurant or something like that. So there's a whole lot of different people living in Hollywood. I got to meet the locals. The locals are pretty cool. It's like the people coming from New Jersey and Connecticut and Iowa and like wherever they're coming from, a lot of those young people, they're so full of themselves. I'm like, what do you mean? You come out here, you think you're going to be a fucking star? Go for it. Maybe you will. I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. Just don't be an egomaniac, because the auditors, the people that, when you go to an audition, when they ask you to audition for a part, if they call you back and then they ask you to do something a little bit this way or move this way, and they give you direction and stuff like that, they can see through all your bullshit. If you're a person that just wants to be famous, but you're not there to actually be an actor, to act, if you're there for any other reason other than to entertain people, they can see right through your young ass. I can guarantee you they do. And I don't know where the television business is going. I really don't know. I don't think Hollywood's going to go away. There's still going to be people that watch television programs and go to movies and stuff like that. I don't think people are just going to sit here and play with these phones all day. You know, I don't think most of Hollywood's going to leave LA. I don't believe it. And I agree with there was some guy who said that. Was that, I don't want to say his name, but there was a well-known actor that said that this whole social media thing is not going to take over Hollywood. It's just not going to do it. I know I look like a detective. That's funny. Maybe it helped me in being a salesman, because maybe I looked like somebody they thought was an actor or something. I did well in sales. I don't know about any Hollywood elite. I know people that live there. They're just a bunch of people that put TV shows together. They've been doing this since the 50s. Motion picture people have been out there since 1910s, 1920s. Wow. There's a lot more things to do. It's not. I don't believe that Hollywood's going anywhere. They're always looking for new talent. They're just, people go to work. They come home from work and they want to just sit there and eat their meal. Then they want to sit down, and they don't have much time before they have to go to bed and go to work Monday through Friday. And they want to watch, a little television or something like that. Maybe not every day, but they want to. Or they want to watch news or something like that. That's what they want to do. So the television and Hollywood are not going anywhere. It's not going to some other country. It's not going to die off. It's not evil. I don't know why all these people think that Hollywood is evil. It's not evil. It's not an evil place at all. Yeah, I am Anna Copacabana. I actually am an easygoing guy, and I'm trustworthy. I am a trustworthy person. My job as a salesman is to listen to the customer, and then take that customer, after I listened and absorbed what that customer wants, take him to what he wants. Not to try to get him to buy anything that he doesn't want, but to take him to what he wants. Even if what he wants, say it's clothing. If that Michael Jackson jacket is going to look horrible on him with all those zippers and stuff, if it's going to look horrible on him, but he wants that jacket, I'm going to take him right to the Michael Jackson MTV Bad Video jacket, the red one with all the gold stuff on it and all that. I'm gonna take him right there to that jacket. I sold one of those jackets when I was a young guy. No, not private. I wish private jets. I should. That's a good idea. Vinyl siding of all things, tools, some tools, and vinyl siding for houses, and aluminum siding. Aluminum siding first, and then vinyl siding. Got to be more in vogue. Just have to play the game in politics. There's politics in all industry. It's just really crazy. This country's really crazy. Did you ever notice how crazy the United States is getting? You have people that refuse to even believe that they have some type of what's obvious that, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell when I can kind of sense when somebody has manic depressive illness. I have manic depressive illness. I take medications for it. I used to take lithium and all that stuff. I even took Seroquel and stuff like that. It's called bipolar disorder. I have bipolar 1 disorder. There's 4 or 5 different types of bipolar disorder. I have classic, very common bipolar 1 disorder. The funny thing, it can also be called manic depressive illness, but you know what's kind of interesting about people that are fucking crazy? Or even a little bit crazy like me. Actually, some people think I'm really crazy when I'm off my meds. Is us manic depressives or people that have schizoaffective disorder, people that have schizophrenia and also have bipolar disorder mixed. Can you imagine that? They tend to be chronic liars. I dated one once. I won't talk bad about her because she's since passed away. She was a Julia Roberts doppelganger. She looked just like Julia Roberts, a doppelganger, but she was short. She was like 5'4". She died too early. Yeah. It was during the coronavirus debacle. I found out later. Do you ever get the feeling that you're being watched? I do. I wonder who's watching. You never know. That's the one thing you never know. You never know who's watching you. You never know if anyone's plotting against you. At Hollywoodland22. That's my channel. At Hollywood. That's my handle. At Hollywood22. Please press the subscribe button. I think it's about 2,480 something. I need to get up to 5,000 subscribers by September the 1st. Let's get me there. I need everybody that's watching me to type in at Hollywoodland22 and press the subscribe button. People are beautiful, and I really need your help that way because this is a non-monetized channel, and it's really just to build the subscriptions up to 5,000. At that point, I will go monetize the channel at that point, and then I will, let you know. At that point, I will make a type wherever I have to do on the other page. I'll look at YouTube Studio and figure out how to do it. Some people gave me some instructions. And then I will put my Venmo and my Cash App and my PayPal information up there, and you can donate to me at that point. But let's get me to 5,000 subscriptions. Please type in at Hollywoodland22. That's at Hollywoodland22. Hit the subscribe button, and I will be a very, very happy man. Have you ever been ghosted? Have you ever been ghosted? Have you ever gotten your little fifis hurt? Your little feelings hurt? It's so unnecessary. And people misunderstand you. It's so unnecessary. Can't save the world. I used to run around and try to save the world. Look at all these people in here. I seem like a nice person. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Airline Pilot, thank you for helping me out. And Decola at Decola1, thank you for helping me out. At Decola1 and Airline underscore Pilot are my moderators. Also, Daniel Holman is a moderator that comes in here. And also, who else? Jerry comes in here and moderates for me. And I really appreciate all of my moderators for keeping my chat flowing. That's the main job of a moderator, is to keep the chat flowing, keep the spam out, and people that keep changing their channel names and trying to be distracting trolls and encouraging them to go away. That's what moderators do. Now, I moderate my own channel also. Did you know that? Look how white I am. Aren't I white? I'm like really a white dude. Aren't I? Somebody said I look Irish. I think I'm like about 20% Irish or something. A 40% German, a 40% English. That's my ethnicity. You ever notice how a lot of younger people talk about skin color and ethnicity and sexual orientation and all those types of topics ad nauseum? When did that fucking start? That's like a really shallow group of things to talk about. You know, when I was 21 years old, I used to talk to my friends about the tactics we were going to use when we go to the nightclubs to pick up hot chicks. We used to go on a quest for hot chicks to try to score and get them to hook up with us. See, I had my priorities straight when I was 21. I did not talk about politics. I did not talk about gender. I did not talk about transsexualism. I did not talk about any of that stuff. And I was immature and did not talk about spirituality at that point in my life. I talk about spirituality a lot more now. Jesus Christ saved my life. He saved me from the cravings to drink alcohol and use drugs. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I will let you know that I am a baby Christian. I got a lot of flaws. I'm a very flawed man. I've got all kinds of problems. I'm a hot fucking mess. Hi from Ireland. Just found your channel so interesting. Sending you all a beautiful day filled with love and peace, health, kindness, happiness, and lots of Irish, because I'm sure we need some. God bless. Thank you very much for coming in, the GOAT 8570. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got about 20% Irish in me. I kind of look Irish in a way. Tori says, you know who you see, but you never know who sees you. That's right. Airline Pilot, will do. Airline underscore Pilot is a really good individual. He helps me out, and so does at Decola1. Airline Pilot, start with timeouts. Don't hide straight away, please. That is correct. You know, when funny trolls come in here that do not break the 4 rules at Hollywoodland22, we have funny trolls that come in here, you know. They're funny. No, I don't want them hid. I mean, if they're spamming or something like that, it's okay. The 4 rules I have for my channel, some of you already know. They are, would you like to hear them? I'm sure you would. Here's the this is so funny. This is so funny. The 4 rules are: anybody that puts any person that comes on my channel that chats anything that is anti-Semitic, you will be blocked for the rest of your life from my channel, and you will never get a second chance, and you're gone. Okay. If anybody that comes here that chats and says anything that is racially bigoted, then you will be blocked and you will never come back to my channel, ever. Number 3, anyone that comes in my chat and says anything nasty about women and children, you are blocked from my channel and you will never come back. And anybody that comes to my chat and lies about anyone, myself, any character assassination or any talks bad about my character specifically, or anyone else's character that's in the chat, will be blocked and they will never come back. That's the only 4 rules I have on @Hollywoodland21. @Hollywoodland21. That's where you are right now. Please press the subscribe button and let's get me up to 5,000 subscribers by September the 1st of 2026. You have a movie trailer voice. Maybe I should do movie trailers and specialize in that. Coming soon to a theater near you. Jaws 4. Yes, that fucking shark is back. And this time, he's hanging around Santa Monica, California. He's not New Jersey anymore. I got a lot of English in me. English, German, and Irish. A little bit of Irish, 40% German, 40% English is my ethnicity. Now, my family has been in this country. My father's family has been in this country since the 1840s. My mother's family has been in this country since 1713. They go back far. Or narrate crime documentaries. You were scared of the Jaws movie? I saw that when I was a little kid. I never went in the water for years after that. Double tap the screen like this. Well, we got a lot of people. If I did not get to you in the chat, I apologize. My chat is going really fast right now. And this channel is going to end up being a very large channel, provided that YouTube keeps me here. I will be doing TikTok also. I've done TikTok before. Last year I had a TikTok channel. It was very amateurish. We're just goofing around. We weren't serious or anything. Well, the next TikTok channel, we might talk about different subjects on that next TikTok channel. I might really let my hair down and act very immature on my next TikTok channel. I really feel I'm being watched. The world is a big place, isn't it? I don't really know. Do you think that Hollywood chooses their actors based on race, look, height, instead of talent? I don't really know. I don't really know. I have no idea. I never worked in that business, so I don't really know. I remember Pittsburgh. I remember Beaver Falls. I remember Aliquippa. I remember Moon Township, and I remember on that little walk, that electric walk thing they have in the airport there. I have family that lives in the Pittsburgh area. That's a nice town. People are very friendly in Pittsburgh. Look fit and strong. I am fit and strong. I'm very strong. I could walk 10 miles if I wanted to through the woods. Put my Timberlands on. I'm a little bit on the thin side. I got wide shoulder. I mean, I don't know. You think I'm physically fit? What do you think? I don't know. I currently I'm 6'1" and I weigh 166 pounds. When I did my TikTok, I was like about 190, so I look a lot different now. My face is really thinned out. I got very long arms. Well, thank you. Jesus Christ saved my life at Tammy Hoffman 12. I wouldn't be here without the mercy of Jesus. In 10 days, you're going to Ireland? I'm glad that everybody's getting to know each other around here. Well, you never know. They might plant chips on us. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to accept the chip. You're going to try to show me the chip, and I'm going to show them the asphalt. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. If I'm presented with you have to have a chip, I'm probably going to, the person that does that is going to see one of my friends. Well, one of my friends is the asphalt. And I'm going to show him the asphalt if he tries to put a chip in me. What's my favorite category? Category of what? You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. Carson, at Carson, 1051. One of my other channels, I have other channels I chick around on. I think it's like Hollywood.land42 or something like that. With the blue H. You'll see me bouncing around. And Carson. That's another one of my channels. I use those channels to promote other. Well, those are my TikTok channels. I only have one channel. No, I actually have two YouTube channels. I have a backup channel, God forbid, if anything happens to this. And then I have 3 TikTok channels. I actually have a 4th one that I'm not bringing back. But Hollywoodland42, and that I just chat on, and I promote other people. If I see a live streamer that I like their live streams, I promote their videos for them because I want to. I just like doing it. If I really enjoy a person's live stream, I will promote their videos. I met a lot of people on here. Privacy reasons. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. That's me. I'm like a photocopy of my grandmother. My face looks like my grandmother when my grandmother was a young woman. She was about my age. Times the kids come out, they don't look like their mom or their dad. They look like their grandparents. I came out looking like one of my grandparents. Yeah. Mr. Mackey said drugs are bad. Okay. That stuff is really bad for you. Meth. It is very dangerous. It's so dangerous that, especially when you get over, like, you start getting older, like over 40 years old, you do not want to use that crystal. I never did it. I never got into it. I was into other things when I used. I'm 19 years clean and sober, by the way, and that means marijuana too. I'm not off marijuana, off of coke, off of alcohol. I do not smoke cigarettes for 5 years, and I've been off all that stuff for all that street stuff for 19 years, and alcohol for 19 years. So I'm clean. I don't do that stuff anymore. I don't want that in my life. Yeah, my channel name is actually Hollywoodland22. My handle is at Hollywoodland21. You type in at Hollywoodland21, hit the subscribe button. I think I really want to get to 3,000 really fast. It's only like 500 subscribers away. So if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be wonderful. No, I got rid of a lot of them. I had 8 channels and I was promoting way too many people. I couldn't do it. I didn't have enough time. So I just got rid of the channels. I have just those 3 channels. It's not for nefarious reasons. I'm just saying I have 3 channels because I promote other people's channels. That's what I do. Marsha Pillipal, 4671. You can guess how old I am. How old do you think I am? I don't know. I have no idea. Go ahead and guess. No, she passed away back in 2002. Marsha Pillipal, 4671. I think you're 5 years younger than me. I wonder how old that would be that you think I am. Yeah, if you do it, you won't live to be 40. That's a very strong possibility. People that get into that, it's called Chris. I know what it is. It was in Southern California way before it was in the Midwest. It's clear glass. They smoke it out of a pipe and rolling their pipe and hitting it and all that. I've seen them doing it at the bus stop, and the police officer just goes right by. He don't even care. You can do whatever. They don't care. Not in LA. They don't care. No. It's very bad for you. I never snorted Pepsi either. I don't know. A lot of stupid comments. Thank you. Yeah, they had crank in the 80s. I don't know. They had a lot. I mean, I used to live in Philadelphia at one point when I was a kid. They had all those kind of stuff there back then. They had in the 50s. Narcotics Anonymous started in LA. I mean, they were doing drugs in the 50s in LA. Oh, I've never lived in the Midwest, but I am moving to the Midwest. I'm moving to Kansas City, Missouri. Yes. A lot of things in motion right now. Yeah. I live just outside of Philly. I grew up in Philly. I lived in Kensington. I lived in Frankfort. I lived off of Aramingo Avenue. I also lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Yeah, I know the Delaware Valley pretty well. I even know Paoli and Devon and Jenkintown. I know all those places. Lancaster. Lancaster is pronounced Lancaster, not there's Lancaster, California, but it's called Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where there's a lot of Amish people. And they have a little airport there, and it's a cute little town. I've been there. All the outlet stores are out there. I know that area. So you're a survivor of falling down and getting back up. Yes, I am. Are you working in the Northeast? Thank you for the congratulations. Your 10th account should be Kansas City Land 21. Hope you get that one. Yeah, I might do that one. That's a good idea. That's a wonderful idea. I will show you a younger picture of me. Not this time, but maybe this weekend I will. I wonder what my hair would look like if she never shaped up the back. Like she didn't shape the back up. Like if she had done that, the hairdresser, I would have this like more of a short looking haircut like this. I try to look my Sunday best. Do I look, this makes me look different, doesn't it? It's weird. Look at all this light here. That's a weird. No, I never had a mullet. No, I never did. That's a good guess. It's incorrect. It's a good guess, though. Tammy. Since I'm moving to Missouri, I should grow a mullet. Was there a bunch of mullet motherfuckers around there? A bunch of people that still think it's the fucking 80s or something. I'm lucky to have so much hair. I think I am. My grandfather went bald at 25. Jeepers Creepers, where you get those eyes. Yo, that was like a really scary movie, wasn't it? Jeepers Creepers. I got to read this. $128 likes. Thank you very much for hitting the like button, too. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Zayn Ali 333. I appreciate everyone hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button. Let's get me to 5,000. 5,000. Let's see what time. 5,000 subscribers by by September the 1st of 2026. I know we can do it together. We as a team. People are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated for hitting the subscribe button and just coming in here and looking at my narrow ass. It is narrow now. I eat my vegetables. Some people don't have any gray and they're 62. I know. I had a grandmother that lived to be, well, she had really bad diabetes. She passed away at 74. She never had gray hair. She just had like this black hair. Well, really dark brown. Appeared black, but. You have a crazy amount of hair for your age at Marcia Pillapal, 4671. I do too. I'm like, my mother has a lot. My grandmother has a lot. Some of my mother's side of the family with all the hair. My dad had a good head of hair too. I miss my dad. He passed away in October of last year. And I feel orphaned. I feel orphaned after my father died. And he lived to 83. So of course, people die when they're 83. It's a different kind of a feeling when a parent dies. Many of you know. And I miss them a lot. Sometimes if you ever see me getting a little bit sad or something, it has something to do with that. A lot of the time. I don't deep fry anything either. Blue cheese. I love blue cheese on chicken fingers. I think I'm having my own conversation right now. Really? I'm listening to. I wish I had your view on things. I'm happy I woke up in the morning. What am I going to do? Think about the trauma from my childhood, or think about some woman that rejected me, or something, which that didn't happen very often in my life, but it could happen, you know. I'll take care of me. Have to take care of me, you know. I only have one life, and I live right now. I'm a fair guy. I'm not a nice guy anymore. I'm a fair guy. I have boundaries. I have firm boundaries. No, I never took acting classes. I'm Marcia Pillapal. I never got into acting. I could. Yeah, Texaco. Old coffee is kind of like Texaco coffee. Yeah, too. That's funny. Brother, what do I have to do with your age? I just want to be friends with you on YouTube, family. You can be friends with me. It's fine. Yeah, people frequently ask me what my age is, and I just don't want to tell people my age. Ever. Maybe I'm just being a little bitch. At Zane Ali 333. At Gerald 532009. At Hollywoodland21. That's at Hollywoodland21. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to at Hollywoodland21. And tell all your friends, your Facebook friends, your ex-friends on X, and also tell your ex-friends too, if you run into them. Tell people at the workplace, on your smoke break, if you still smoke. Pass out index cards that say at Hollywoodland21. Do them all day if you're retired and you have the time. Pass them out and let them know that at Hollywoodland21 is the channel where you get to talk about what you want to talk about. It's really your channel. You guys can get to meet each other. I want a lot of people. I would love to see a lot of people in my chat get to know each other, even better than you know me. We can get a big group in here of like minds or unlike minds. We can get somebody in here that doesn't think anything like us, but for some reason is interested in us as a group. It's our channel. It's our channel. Collectively. I usually don't use those words because I'm not a communist. But we are some type of a group here. Vitamin C. I take 500 milligrams of vitamin C. I think I can take more. I take vitamin B12 to help get my food to turn into calories faster. I eat a little bit of carbohydrates. I eat a little bit of meat, usually fish, and I eat my vegetables and my fruit. And I don't eat too much. I eat about 1,000 calories a day. A lot of people think this, but I'm losing weight. I actually am trying to get down to 150 pounds at 6'1", and that will give me a washboard stomach because there's a part of me that's a little bit vain. Now, I have met people that have really, really big heads. I mean, big egocentric people and stuff like that, but I'm just a little bit vain. You know what I mean? Have you ever met somebody that's just totally egocentric? They know that they know everything. They think they're special and everything like that. You have to pray for those people. You have to pray for those people. I said that twice. But they can be annoying, right? You lost your daughter last September. My condolences, Lisa. My sincere condolences. That's really hard. Saffron, friendship, and love cannot be seen new. Did he fall on hard times? I did not know that. Their frontal lobe is underdeveloped. You mean like people that are narcissistic, or are you talking about that? People that are just plain, I don't know. Certain people that, I don't know, they just think they know everything. I can't get too angry at anything, really. So you changed my lifestyle 2.5 years ago and was 230, not now 171 and 63. That's good to get that weight off. Time on earth is limited. That is the real currency. That's facts being spoken there. Time on earth is limited, says at Eliastos 7471. Time is my real currency now. Now, personally, just between you and me, I have plans on living to be over 100 years old. That's why I'm getting real super skinny, eating a low-fat diet and all that, and moving out to the Midwest, and getting some sunshine. Praise Jesus Christ. We need more prayer. We do need prayer. This country needs prayer. It really does. Tina Kennedy, 6458. Welcome in. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, some people get blessings that others don't have. What's important is to not get jealous about that. Be happy for them. Some people are blessed to live in parts of the United States that are just beautiful, that don't have any crime or anything like that. And they watch cable television and they go, oh my God, look what's happening in all these other places. California's falling apart, and Washington, D.C. and New York have all kinds of crime in them, and blah, blah, blah. But they don't have that. You should feel happy for those people that get to live in beautiful places like Des Moines, Iowa, and what's another place that doesn't really have a lot of crime? Places that are out there, like, I don't know, maybe Lincoln, Nebraska, where they just don't have much going on, you know. You should be happy that people get to live in places like that. I always lived in places that had high crime all the time, or a city that had all kinds of problems and protesting and all kinds of shit. Yeah. Sometimes hearing is just watching. That's right. Well, I've looked at Lincoln, Nebraska, and you know what? Lincoln, Nebraska does not have anywhere near as much crime as Philadelphia does. And neither does Omaha, and neither does Des Moines or Council Bluffs, or let's see where else, Cedar Rapids or any of that stuff. They don't have crime. Philadelphia has crime. Baltimore has crime. The entire state of Maryland has crime. There's places that are unbelievably crime-ridden. It depends on what part of Milwaukee you're in. I study this stuff. I'm almost a criminologist. Well, I grew up in Philadelphia, and the cops used to be really corrupt there and stuff like that. They still are. Philadelphia needs a change in leadership, in my personal opinion. It really does. It really does need to have some tougher cops. Baltimore is rough. Yeah, I know it is. Parts of St. Louis are rough. Memphis, Baltimore, Detroit, Cleveland, in the inner cities. The suburbs around these cities are fine. It's not everywhere. Kansas has, like, I'll tell you what, like Kansas, if you think Kansas, like Kansas City and Oath and Topeka are fine, you go to Wichita. Wichita has some issues. Tulsa, Oklahoma has some issues. Oklahoma City has gangs and stuff like that. Some places in Texas are nice and some places are not. There's places, the suburbs outside of St. Louis are beautiful. I know where the crime is and I know why it's there. It's not that hard to figure out why. St. Louis is getting cleaned up. I thoroughly checked out Kansas City, Kansas, Oath, and Des Moines and Iowa, and I checked out Lincoln and Omaha and Kansas City and all that stuff. I checked out their crime rates and stuff, and they're fine. They're fine with me. I've dealt with much bigger. It's really nice compared to the rest of the country. Dallas has some issues. Houston is much worse. The whole Houston metropolitan area is having a problem. All kinds of undocumented people floating around. You got American criminals. You got gangs there. You got to live way out in the suburbs, certain suburbs of Houston, or certain rich parts of Houston. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of places in the suburbs and in Houston that just got all kinds of crime. Columbus is actually a better city to live in. Oak Cliff. I know where Oak Cliff is. How'd you know where Oak Cliff is? I have family that lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I plan on going and visiting them. I have family in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado. Let's see where else. A lot of places around there. I actually have family in Tennessee too, and upstate New York, and Rhode Island, and Maine, and Virginia. Yeah, I got family all over the place, and in Florida, and my mother and father's family is spread out all over the place. We all used to be mostly in the Washington, D.C. area because a lot of my parents worked for the federal government. Some of them were bureaucrats. You know, the swamp that our president keeps talking about. It's been there for a while. They get underfunded the inner cities, but a lot of people that live in the inner cities are responsible for the crime in there. A lot of people that live in the inner cities commit a lot of violent crime, and it's not that they don't get enough money. It's just that they're bad people and they like to commit crime. I know all about the inner city, and I know why the inner cities are dangerous. I disagree with you. It's not because of underfunding. Underfunding what? They need to go get 3 jobs and pay their bills. Yeah, and I got a lot of family in Dallas, Texas. Do you know where Zhang's Boulevard is? In Dallas, Texas. Have you ever heard of an old motel? I'm not sure if it's there anymore, but it was owned by my family, called the Grandee Lodge Motel on Zhang's Boulevard. It was like a little cottage motel. It's called the Grandee Lodge. You may have been by it. It's not too far away from the zoo. Ruby for Justice. Yeah, you know the Grandee Lodge Motel on Zhang's Boulevard. My family owned that. Little Rock's dangerous. I know where the dangerous cities are. I stay out of them. That's why I did not want to live in. I could have lived in the suburbs of St. Louis. They're really nice. But I just picked Kansas City because I wanted to live in the city. I don't want a city that's got it together. They're managing their city well there, too. I know. You know what? It's hotter up north than it usually is. Did you know that when I was a real little boy, like in the late 70s and stuff like that, and in the 80s, it used to be colder. Somewhere around the early 90s, like it started gradually warming up. We were going through. I guess when I was born was at the very end of an ice, like a mini ice age or something like that. Well, at 1 hour and 51 minutes. I wasn't planning on staying this long. I'm sorry if I did not get to everybody. You lived in Allen. Oh, okay. Who are you chatting with? This is not this YouTube chat. Okay. I don't know who that is, why they would say that. Yes, Kurt Russell. You guys think I'm a younger Kurt Russell. Lived with a partner in Texas for a while. You think I should get into politics? See, the thing is that even with my background of being a former drug addict and having bipolar disorder, even a guy like me could get into politics. A guy like me could run for president of the United States and possibly win. That's how our country has unfolded. You would not want me to be the president of the United States. I don't want to get into it, but dudes and dudettes, you would see a different side of me if I ran for the presidency of the United States and I ended up being the president. You would see a whole different side of me. Remember, I said I was not a nice guy. I'm a fair guy. I have boundaries. There's a lot of things that are going on in the United States that need to be ended. National security. Some big problems. And I can guarantee you, a lot of this stuff has to be taken care of on a local level. In your small town or your medium-sized city or big city or your suburb, we need to take care of it at the municipal, county, and county levels, because the federal and the state governments are not going to run around and fix everything for us. If you see something, say something. Don't let men abuse women. Do something about it. Shun people from your community when they're not acting right. If they just can't get right, shun them until they leave. There's some people that are some bad people in this country. But the police can't solve everything. A country will fall apart if we don't start. If this country doesn't understand that they are not God and that there is a God, and maybe they need to go back to church a little bit. It probably would do some good for people to go back to church for a little while. I think that's just my opinion. But I'm going to have to get off of here. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I had a wonderful evening. My name is Randall. This is at Hollywoodland22. And this is the channel where you get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm here live streaming on YouTube. What is that, Ms. Newman? Thursday.
Through Sunday.
Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time and Charlotte, North Carolina time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Hollywoodland22. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends all about at Hollywoodland21. At Hollywoodland21. One line. Let's get me up to 5,000 subscribers. You people, you dudes and dudettes are beautiful. I really enjoy you coming in here, and you're lifting my spirits too. You're making me feel better. This has been a very, well, I'd have to say, this month has been very difficult for me. I'm only human. I'm just a human being, and I'm flawed. I have feelings and stuff like that. I miss people. I miss people that have passed away. I miss people that don't stream as much as they used to, that I really liked. I still like. I miss my cousin that died, and I just miss a lot of things. I love you guys. Thanks for cheering me up today. And thank all my all airline pilot at Dakota, Daniel Hallman, Jerry. Thank you for keeping the chat flowing. We can't catch everyone that's being a nerd or dork or a dick munch or anything like that, but we can catch most of them. Wait till you see that TikTok page. When I go back over and I do this and TikTok concurrently, and you watch the TikTok page, you're going to see a different side of me. You're going to realize for sure that I really am a baby Christian, and that I'm not Mr. Jesus over here. A lot of people think I'm like really religious and stuff like that. I'm really not religious. I'm really not like a real conservative or traditional guy. I'm kind of a political centrist. A lot of things that, I mean, I grew up in Philadelphia, New Jersey. Of course, I'm going to have a lot of liberal in me. I'm going to be like a leaning towards socially liberal. I mean, not for my personal life, but I tend to be like, well, if you want to do all that stuff, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you can be as socially liberal as you want. I'm actually kind of a liberal guy. I am. I'm a fiscally and socially liberal person. I am. I just don't like the extremists in the politics right now. I'm a little left to center is what I am. Politically, I'm a little left to center is what I am. I don't like the extremism and all this. I don't like this communist thing. I think the Democratic Party does need to get rid of these communists and kind of pull towards the center where most of the country is. But I also don't like real hardcore right-wing kind of political ideology and stuff like that. I don't like what's going on with that. That's not my America. So, like I said, politically, I'm right a little bit left to center. Is that left to you if I go like that? I don't know. This is mirrored, right? I try to get along with everybody. I can't get along with everybody, but Chuck Woolery, do I really look like him? I remember him. At Monica, set notifications to all, not personal. Okay. To me, life is not so much about geography. Geography is important to a certain degree. Like I would rather live in the Midwest or Texas or Kansas or Missouri or Nebraska or someplace like that. I'd rather live in a place in the middle of the country where it's a lower cost of living and it can get more house for my money. But that's not what I'm really into. I'm really into connections with people. I need human connection too. I'm just a man. I'm not God. I'm just a man. And I need friends too. I really do. I need friends a lot. This is a tough time in my life. And thank you for cheering me up. I'll see you tomorrow night, okay? At 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Hollywoodland, at Hollywoodland21. Bye-bye for now, my beautiful viewers.